every one of you treat not just me, but everybody else here like they're part of your personal family. And that's what makes Cardano so special. No matter where you're from, what language you speak, what culture you belong to, there's a common set of values, there's a common set of beliefs that we have agency in others. And they say, God, this guy's crazy. So
We are live at the Constitutional Convention pre-show.
That was a barrier that tried to kill us. We didn't have time, money, effort. God, how do we think? Where's our city? There's our city. He was one of the first thinkers on Cardano. In fact, everything before Byron and up to the Byron era, Sarah Britain wrote, and we were their largest software project, and we had no idea what we were doing. We went to Latvia, and we tried to construct a constitutional convention. We haven't just brought a lot of people together, a lot of people who care enough to make this part of their life story and care about how we fix this. Those other people care. Those other people care. Those other people care. Those other people care enough to debate them and say there's better ways of doing this, there's better ways to think about this. And every single day we can always be critical and say, well, is there some flaw we can fix it? And yet we can still be optimistic and we still can believe that our best days are ahead of us. We've been through many cycles together. You've seen ADA launch. You've seen ADA in the bear market. Now it's like today. How did these Cardano guys survive? Because we've had a very short period of time, we will converge to some form. Very short period of time, we will converge to some form of governance understanding, with an understanding that whatever we converge to, we will improve it over time. In a very short period of time, we will converge to some process, remains to be seen, and a lot of good people are working on it, that will open up the Cardano treasury. Almost $2 billion at this point. It's grown quite a bit.
Yeah.
Every year, we'll keep refining and perfecting that. There will be flaws, problems, just like capitalist tax. We've all personally experienced it. But we'll learn from it, and we'll continue growing. And that treasure will continue growing, the ecosystem will continue growing. The set of things we're allowed to do, we can do, the set of things that can be built on Cardano, that Cardano does well, will continue to grow. Wasn't too long ago, you couldn't even issue an NFT on Cardano. Wasn't too long ago, you couldn't even write a smart contract on Cardano. Wasn't too long ago, you couldn't stake on Cardano. And now, in 2024, we have the best staking protocol in the entire industry. In 2024, we have the best accounting model in the entire industry, extended to TXL. Rapidly, thanks to the community, mostly, we have one of the best development models. Lunas was a bit too inflexible. We fixed a lot of the problems, but in tandem, the community made Aiken. And what's extraordinary about it is that they've co-evolved together, and they've actually made Lunas better, Lunas has made Aiken better. And we've done all of this out in the open in a transparent way, without permission. People just woke up and said, I can fix that. I can make that better. And it wasn't too long ago that we didn't have any on-chain government, and now we do. And thanks to the labors of everyone here who have traveled so long and so far and heard so much, that on-chain government will enable the minds and abilities of countless thousands of people in more than 100 countries, twice the amount represented here, to actually participate in a way where their ideas can become reality. Think about the power of a system like that. You can issue unlimited assets, you can write smart contracts, you can augment and modify it. It evolves rapidly every single year. It has its own treasury, it has its own on-chain government. It listens to people, and all at the same time. Why we need a constitution? It protects the integrity of itself. That's the magic. Constitutions are necessary because they ensure that every single person is treated equally. And I wanted that to be my biggest contribution to this. It's a very American principle, 19th century America, not 21st century America. We wrote a document, we had a Bill of Rights. We really believe in things like liberty and freedom of association and speech. We believe that these things are God-given. They don't come from the government, they come from somewhere else that transcends governments. And we don't live in a world like that anymore. We don't wake up with an expectation of privacy. We don't wake up with an expectation that our voice matters, that we're in charge of our property. Try not paying your property taxes for a few months. See what happens. Take your house. Do you really own it? We don't live in a society where freedom of speech is there. You have all these people floating around saying it's too dangerous. We have to deplatform people. We don't live in a society anymore that protects basic human rights. So what crypto has always been about is a revolution of the heart and mind where we say, you know what? We should rather live in a society where people are self-sovereign. People take care of themselves. They're their own banks. They own their own ID. They own their own data. And they live in a society where they're trusted enough to be responsible with their own lives. And they just want to be left alone. Seems pretty simple, but in 2024, it's something globally that's quite difficult to get consensus on, but not here. And the existence of a constitution ensures that every single person who uses this system will be treated equally, no matter what language they speak, what country they're born in, no matter what political philosophy they happen to believe in, whether they value it or not value it. And unlike human-derived systems, which require the constant vigilance of acolytes waking up every day and trying to preserve these things and care about these things, code doesn't have to do that. It never forgets, it never sleeps, and it doesn't care who we are. It treats everybody truly equally. And this is the first time in human history we've had systems like this. They're not perfect yet, they're evolving. But in 15 years, I have watched the cryptocurrency movement go from a single user, a single white paper that nobody cared about, to a multi-trillion-dollar industry with hundreds of millions of people across the entire world. At this rate of growth, we will have billions of users, tens of trillions of dollars of assets, and entire nation states will run on these systems within the next 15 years. And what each and every one of you in this room is doing, each and every one of you in this beautiful courtyard, is you're showing the rest of the industry how to do this with integrity, and you're showing the rest of the industry how to preserve and protect what makes crypto special. It's very easy to co-opt these systems if they're built in the wrong way. They can be centralized, they can run on Amazon, they can say they're crypto, they have an on and off switch. Won't mention them on Twitter anymore, both of them. But we all know that there's a fiction behind these things. Just like Kindle. When I was growing up, we bought books. Paper, you hold them in your hands. Now you have them in your digital distribution, your library. But guess what? Now somebody you've never met, you can't talk. The VHS tapes, I remember them. Patrick Bateman. And you own that copy. Nobody can take the tape away from you. Now it's all digital distribution. If the video is inconvenient, they just push a button and it just disappears. All of society and life is moving in this direction. All your assets, all your interactions, your voice, your value. Somebody you've never met can deplatform you, throw you away. And they don't need a subpoena, they don't need government approval, they just decide to do it like a dictator. The point of cryptocurrencies, if they're built right, is we make that world impossible. Because at the end of the day, you have to consent to it. And that's why this matters, because it touches everything. It touches your reputation, it touches your identity, it touches your voice, it touches your voting system, it touches your money, it touches your property, and ultimately it touches your freedom of association, commerce, and expression, your ability to work with people, connect with people, and who you love. All these things are preserved and protected. That's why we're writing a constitution, because we have to have a document that eventually works its way into code, eventually is reinforced at the protocol level, where every single person never forgets that we used to live in a world where things were controlled by the few. And we return to a world where things were controlled by the many. And there's no greater example of that than this room right here. You're the many. And as testimony to that, I'm actually an observer for this event, not an elected delegate, which means I actually don't get a vote on the product that I created.
It's in good hands.
It also means tomorrow when we go to the beautiful University of Buenos Aires, there's going to be sessions for voting delegates only, and as an observer, I can't even speak. How about that? The Italian guy can't speak. Oh no. And that's how it should be. Because that's how power should work. It should be of the government, by the government, with the consent of the government. And it doesn't matter what a person's station in life or what they've done. There always comes a time for a change of power, for a rising of people. I'm not going anywhere. It's just, I'm a private citizen of the system. That's another one of the original traditional American traditions. Wasn't too long ago that it was inconceivable that people could step away from power. Every time they did it was always a big story. That's why if you go to America's capital, or Capital Rotunda, the biggest painting they have, in the very center of it, is George Washington who signed his commission, him stepping away from the ability to become a king. Because of that, it allowed us to be who we were and to grow as big as we are. So part of this process is figuring out the balance of power and making sure no one person has too much of it. And creating a self-reflection that when we make mistakes, no one should live in fear for being able to point out those mistakes. That's so easy for a vibrant democracy, constitutional republic, with actually a direct democracy. First time ever liquid democracy has actually been implemented at scale. Massive social expansion. And if we keep these principles to heart, we're going to show the rest of the world how to govern. If we keep these principles to heart, we're going to show our industry how to do it. And over the next 15 years, as the world moves to crypto, honestly speaking, there's only going to be one choice. It's Cardano. Woo!
Are we winning, Dan?
So there's a very good friend of mine that I'd like to introduce. You know, we love him. Come on up here, Adam. So Adam has been a member of this community for a very, very long time. Professor at University of Illinois, Champaign, and also recently elected to the board by you guys at Intersect. Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much.
How are you doing, Adam? You think it's been a good day?
It's been an exhausting day, but it's been a fantastic day.
You over the jet lag?
Oh yeah, I'm over the jet lag. Now I'm just in the glory of it.
All right, so I'll turn it over to him. Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Thank you, Charles. So it was. I have to exercise. Thank you. So 7 years ago, just not 7 years ago, like this month, a friend of mine called me up and said, "You've got to check out this crypto stuff. It's blowing up." And he was a penny stock trader. So I figured he must know something. What is this stuff? And I was like, "That's that Bitcoin thing, right?" I just thought those people in their mom's basements. And he's like, "Yeah, but it's really hot right now." Okay, well, let's take a look at this. So I got some Bitcoin. I checked out this thing called Litecoin because there's 4 times more than that in Bitcoin, so that's pretty good too. And then I saw this video from this guy, and it did not have a whiteboard in it. It was a video called "The Future Will Be Decentralized." And this guy, Charles Hoskinson, laid out all the stuff that I already believed in about how the world can work when people don't rely on systems to tell them what to do, and instead they say, "I just want to work with the person next to me. And I want to rely on my neighbors, my friends, to be my network of value and my network that does things together." And that was the kind of moment for me when I realized, like, there's a movement out there, there's a group out there that believes what I believe, and I never knew they were out there. So I started checking out Cardano. I saw it crashing with everything else. But then I saw something really interesting, is that the people who were building stuff didn't go away. The people who were actually in the community didn't leave. And this wasn't just Cardano, this was a lot of different blockchain ecosystems where people were experimenting with interesting stuff. And that's something that had always been a part of my academic studies, is trying to understand what is it that makes people want to work together? What is it that makes people want to build communities where they engage in activities, where they learn things, and where they can better themselves just because they care about the topic that they're dealing with. And so that was how I got into my local blockchain meetup. That was how I eventually found my way onto Twitter, talking to people in the spaces, and found myself in a group called ADAO that put the first DAO script on Cardano. And it was like, these are the people. I never knew they were out there, and it took a little while for us to all find each other. But when I was there, I realized that we had each other's backs. And being here with everyone in Intersect, it's been a heck of a journey helping to work on the constitutional drafting process. I'd like to thank Joel Teltner for inviting me to be part of the Civics Committee for the launch. And I also want to thank all the members of the Civics Committee and the Constitutional Drafting and Ratification Working Group for the hours that you all put in to make this into a reality. This doesn't happen by chance. This happens because people care so much about something that they want to share it with other people who have that same belief system. And so today, sitting in the session, seeing delegates from all over the world, many of whom I've gotten to know online, but I've seen for the first time, seeing Emergo and Cardano Foundation come to our drafting workshop as observers, so that they can get a chance to chime in as subject matter experts and say how they've been feeling about the process and what kind of advice they can offer from their experience on Cardano. It's really, I mean, it's bullish, right? I don't care about price, except for when I go to sell. And I don't care about what other people think about us. What I care about most is the fact that everyone here is building something that is greater than any one of us can be. So thank you for coming to this event. On behalf of Intersect, I just want to say that we would not be an organization without you who have joined, and for those who work with us to do things. And I hope that we can be a great force for Cardano, and that we can all work together. Thank you. So one last person I want to invite up real quickly. Joel, you might come up and say a few words.
Let's go, Joel!
There you go.
I've said this before, but I'm saying it again. You guys are making history. How does that feel? What nerve, audacity you have. You are changing the world. You're doing something that nobody has ever done before. It's one thing to have a nation with tanks, and with police force, and say, here's our Constitution. If you don't like it, well, too bad. But what you guys are doing is figuring out a new way to bring human beings together to collaborate, a way that's never really been done like this, where you're trusting yourselves as a community to come up with a better way to govern, a better way to work together, a better way to change the world as a new force. And that is why what you're doing is so important, so incredible, and why the history books are going to reflect what you are doing here in Buenos Aires and our colleagues in Nairobi are doing today. And thank you so much for everything you've done, all the hard work. Bless all of you.
Hey, Chad, let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear any voices or not? And there you have it, people. Cardano Convention, Constitutional Convention kicking off. Buenos Aires, Argentina, 2024. Oh, beautiful. Thank you very much. So I'm going to stop this stream and then start another one and go around and interview some people. So hit me up on, okay, beautiful, beautiful. I might actually stay right here. I'm going to try a microphone that I have. Let me know how it works if you don't mind, if you got a minute. And man, I wish you were here, dude. I wish a lot of people were here. This is a big effort. It's amazing seeing it all come together. And so many people have had input and made this thing really. I can't hear you though, just so you know. Although I don't think I'm supposed to. That's not how this shit works, Quasar. You're at the bloody fucking Hard Fork Cafe, mate. Why don't you learn how to do your thing? Learn how it works, okay? Learn how YouTube works. Nobody can say anything. Not to you. Alright, chat, if you're still listening, there is music still going. Oh, this. But I just plugged in the camera or a microphone. Let me know, is it working? And if it is working, then I'm good to go. I'll start interviewing some people, or I'll have to wait until the music is over. So, you know what, man? Yeah, that makes sense. All right, well, then I'm going to wrap it up, and we'll come back later. Thanks for joining. Although I don't know really how to stop this thing now. Better if I remove the microphone, not blown up. You can just hear me. Okay, this is going to stop streaming. Later.